Okay, for this next project that we're doing, it's going to be a project that uses value, and we're going to be shading with pencils, and it's basically going to be working with shading and using different values. So this is kind of a finished project. So you're going to start with your paper, and you're going to draw 7 varying circles that go off on 3 sides. So you've got some rulers here, some little templates, and you're just gonna use a Sharpie, but you're gonna use a pencil. And you're just gonna draw 7 different circles, and you can do large or small. I'm just gonna I'm gonna get my ones that go off the page first, so I have those for sure off on 3 sides. So I've got 2 sides now. Let's do another big one over here, maybe. Three. So let's do 4. 4. 5. 6. And 7. We don't want that to touch. You don't want them to be overlapping or touching. You want to have some space in between so it looks kind of like Swiss cheese. So I've got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 of them at least overlapping off the sides. So once you've done that, you're going to do your second layer. So it's going to look like almost like 3 layers of webbing. So you're going to do this second layer down. So what you do is you're basically going to do where it has like 3 circles going off, but you want them to kind of look like if they go off here, it kind of goes behind and works together with that next circle. So if I did, let's just do this one here. This one's going to go here. We'll pretend like if the circles went around, it would probably go off here, but maybe not touch anymore. So that'd be that one. This one would have another one that would probably go on here. So this one needs 1 more, so I'm just going to put 1 here. This one needs 2 more, so I can just do these because none of the other ones are going to be touching it. Now, I'm going to probably have ones touching here, so this one's probably going to want to have one that's sharing, so maybe a small one. These 2 are going to have one sharing. Maybe do like a large ovally loop. These 2 are going to have sharing. These 2 will have sharing. So these 2 will have sharing. This one won't have any sharing with this back side one, and this one has one that's not sharing. So now you've got that first layer of circles. So that'd be that first, so it'd be these top ones. Now you're going to do that second layer behind. So you've got 1 webbing, 2 webbing. So this back one. So it's the same thing, it's just the next step back. So, and you're going to want to alternate. If this one goes like this, you're going to want to alternate behind. So I'm going to do a circle here. It would probably maybe be back behind here and go back behind here. See how that like is a circle right there? That took care of that one. Then let's take care of a circle here. Got that one. This one I can draw my last circle because it won't overlap anything. So this one I need 2 more. So I'm going to have one here It's going to overlap this guy and probably not overlap anymore. And then do an extra one here. One that shares probably all three of these guys. Just kind of have one back here that doesn't share. This, let's do one that shares. This one needs another one. Probably share with all four maybe. Yeah, we can get all four in here. This guy needs a third one. He needs two more. Maybe share with this back side here. There we go. This has got two sets, two sets, two sets, two sets, two sets, two sets, two sets. So this has all of them. 3 layers. You got your top layer, your second layer, and then that background layer. Now, when you shade them, you're going to have 3 layers. You're going to have the first layer, which is white, the second layer, which is the lighter gray, medium gray is the third layer, and the background that's all the way through like a hole is going to be black. So when you look on your value chart, you're going to have some that are in the dark grays, some that are completely black, which is the background, and then some that are in the medium grays. So I have an example here. Again, one of them. You have your top, medium grays. There you go. Your top, which is the medium grays, darker grays, and then the black, which is the black behind. So when you go to shade, you're going to have a couple different pencils. You're going to have the 6B, which is a dark pencil, and then you have the H. Any of the H's are lighter pencils to shade with. And then you can have a kneaded eraser and a blending stump. So how this works is what I would do first is I would go in and do your black background. So I'm going to do a small one so it's easier. So anything that's in the back way behind is going to be completely black. Now this is going to look a little different since I did it in Sharpie for you to see. You're going to have that Sharpie line so it won't shade as much as what you would expect because you have that line to tell the difference between the two, which you wouldn't see here. You have to do that with your shading. So completely black with the 6B. And I'm doing this kind of fast, but then you're going to do the next level of black, with the 6B again. And when you shade, you're just going to do a single layer of gray all the way through. Single layer of gray. Then you're going to go in on the edge because that's going to be a little darker. And a little bit around the top because we want that shadow to look like it's on top and below. Then you're going to blend. Blend the dark and then the light. Because a lot of times you can blend the dark and then kind of pull into the light. And the light you're not going to lift up as much. And when you're shading, you work in layers. Now, that's the first layer. Oops, where's my number 2? You're going to want to have this a little darker because you want this second layer to almost be as dark as the black. I want it to be darker in here, darker here, and I'm going to blend that so it doesn't look like a harsh line. So I'm going to blend it again. I'm going to make that smooth. I'm going to slowly blend that in with that area to where it looks like it's merging. These smaller ones are not going to have as much white on them because they're smaller. Most of them are shadowed. Okay, So you have that first layer, and it could probably maybe be a little darker overall. It's kind of hard to tell so much with it with the Sharpie because you can see the edges a lot more than you can with this. Then you're going to take the H, because it's a softer one, and you're going to do the same thing but lighter on this next level. Go in, and I find it's easier to do in a circular, not back and forth, but kind of circular, because then you don't get lines. Now you're going to leave kind of an open area in the middle. You're not going to put a lot of color in because you're going to more pull that. You're going to do a little darker on the edges to get that shadow. And again, you're going to shade, blending with that blending stump. Pulling into that middle area that's really pretty light. Kind of pulling some of that color that you had on the edge. Now, I would go in now and add a little bit more dark here because we want it to look like it's rounded around the edge. Say overall, this whole area a little bit darker on the edge. Blend it in. Everything always needs to be, it's a layer. Draw, blend, draw, blend. And there you go. See how that kind of has that look. Now you see the Sharpie lines in there. You shouldn't, when you go to shade it, you're not going to have Sharpie lines, so it'll be like completely drawn like that. So you'll do that for every single circle you'll have. You'll go in and do the shading, and that's what our next project is.